I was getting tired, after doing this all day, and I never had my cup of coffee because I was expecting that we were going to be drinking. And when I'm drinking, I don't want to have coffee with liquor. So basically, I was like, I'll hold off. I won't have, this coffee. Instead, I'll just wait and I'll have the shots. They never came.
Urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you not DSP. And I'm not gonna lie, I took a little bit of a break from the snort verse, from the DSPCU, if you will. And I'm of the firm belief that sometimes it's good to get away from a lot of this madness and some of this nonsense, so you can recalibrate and, refocus. But I'm back, and so that means it's time to fry up some of this bacon. Which brings us to what's going on right now with this whole BEGAMAN Marathon that clearly did not go the way Phil wanted it to go. So let's get into it.
Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Friday, the 29th of August, 2025. An exhausting BEGAMAN Marathon Part 3, where we took on the conclusion or second half of BEGAMAN 6, and then all of, looks like my wireless went out, all of BEGAMAN 7, and then BEGAMAN 8. I'd like to talk about how that went and the stuff that we did during it, and let you know where we're going, from here in the future, because it was interesting. Let's put it that way, okay? So
now we all know what Phil means when things are interesting, because the only thing that appealed to him or garner his interest is money, right? But I'm gonna let him continue.
So today we started with our hour and a half chill session, and the chill session went well. A lot of people showed up, hung out, talked with me the entire time. Support was good during that chill session. We already hit enough for our first shot, and it looked like we were on an upward trend, with people showing up and engaging and supporting.
Now I have to say, with these whole chill session things, Phil's way of differentiating something from something else is just calling it a different name. He does the same thing with Feasting with the King / DSP Tries It, which is really what he should call it, because that's what it is. What's the difference between your podcast, your quote unquote chill sessions, or your quote unquote impromptu streams? It's all the same thing. You complaining about something and begging for money.
And I was excited for that. I announced that we had all this different liquor to drink, including tequila and bourbon whiskey and rum and 99 fruit shots, and that we would do it every $100 of support and all of that, as usual. Okay.
So let me get this straight. You get to pay $100 to this grown man to watch him drink on stream. Now let's think about the value proposition for something like that. I would argue that that's probably the most expensive shot in the world. I mean, when you think about it, can anybody think of a place that you can go to and a shot of liquor is more than $100? I can't think of one. Y'all let me know.
That's what we usually do for the marathons, and that we would be jumping into BEGAMAN after a quick break. So we took the break, came back, and I believe, if I remember correctly, we actually hit around $200 to $300 of support during BEGAMAN 6. Okay, so basically, BEGAMAN 6, the second half of it was pretty tough, because first you have the Mr. X stages, but then you have more Dr. Wily stages, so they take a long time to get through. Fun game. Like, I like BEGAMAN 6. It was just a little bit time consuming to finish it. I would have liked to jump into 7 earlier, but it is what it is. I did wrap it up, and it wasn't that big of a deal. Even though I had a couple shots in me, it didn't really affect me that well. Then it was time for food, and we were actually, my wife and I had ordered food, and we were waiting for it to arrive. My internet goes out. The heck? And then my ISP contacts me and says, oh yeah, there is an outage that we're aware of, and it shouldn't take too long to restore. It only took like 10 minutes.
I know y'all seen this when it happened in real time. You see how paranoid he was when it happened? Because it's almost as if Phil knows that something should happen to him, even though it hasn't. He always thinks somebody's lurking in the corner or behind the bushes to pop out on him. But the real question is, why, Phil? Nobody else is walking around paranoid like this.
So the internet did come back, which was good, and allowed us to basically continue on with the marathon. But at that point, we had already had like a weird disruption. So I said, well, why don't we just eat the food? And it was Hawaiian barbecue. I did not make a video of it. However, I am going to make the Mega Man stream fully public. So if you just want to watch the whole raw stream, there is a portion there where I sit down and I eat this Hawaiian barbecue, which is like this barbecue chicken and some shrimp and some fish and some sides and stuff. It's pretty good. Okay. Then when I came back from that eating, I took 2 more shots, which was awesome. You know, we were up to $400 of support halfway through the marathon. I was like, oh, that's great. That's good momentum, right? So,
You know what's crazy about this? He's talking about this food. He's not even gonna call it a DSP tries it. Once again, him playing with nomenclature, the name of something, but functionally it's the same thing. And like he's so lazy that he's not even going to clip that part out for the people who specifically watched that part of his content. Because according to you, Phil, part of the reason why you are still here is because you are a variety streamer. You eating food, unfortunately, is a part of that variety. So that means, according to you, there are certain people that are there that just want to see that. So why wouldn't you do them that favor and clip that out so they can watch it specifically? You so damn lazy that you're gonna force them to comb through a 2-hour stream to find a point that they want to watch, man. This dude is ridiculous.
we started with Mega Man 7, and I'll just say this. Mega Man 7 has better graphics because it's on the SNES. It's better looking than all 6 Mega Man games before it. And that's about it. I actually thought that the music and sound effects were far inferior to the NES. And I actually think that the gameplay elements were not nearly as good. The game was actually pretty annoying, I would say. Disappointing game. I did not like it. And the ending too, like the last few stages were such a nut buster. Like seriously, just like twisted your nuts just to get through these final stages so you could beat the game. And people even said, yeah, the Dr. Wily's hard. It's pretty hard. It didn't take me too many tries. It took me like maybe 3 tries to beat. But still, like it was just overly difficult for no reason.
This man hates anything where he's required to use his brain for more than 2 seconds. Now, let's peel back some of the stuff he said, because obviously he's sitting here complaining about the difficulty of Mega Man games, which we know is part of their appeal, right? It's not the whole of it, but that's definitely part of it. Furthermore, the further that you progress into games, generally speaking, the harder they get, Phil. Because now you have more mechanics and or tools to deal with the problems that the game is throwing at you. So naturally, there will be a difficulty curve, right? And most people would welcome that. But Phil looks at the end of a game as if it's a liquidation process. Look, I'm already made it 3/4 of the way. Just give me the rest, please. It's so pathetic.
It was bizarre. Okay. Anyway, so I did complete Mega Man 7, but a weird thing happened. There was like no support coming in at all. And that was like 3 hours of gameplay. So now we were up to like 7:30 at night, and we were about to start Mega Man 8. And I was like, well, we're about like 400 something. Can we at least hit 500? And we did. Then we hit 500, and I took another shot.
So this man is complaining about not having support after saying he had already made $400. And then eventually he made $500, which is better than what he would do most days. But that shows you the entitlement that comes with these marathons and what these marathons are really about. The marathon is Phil's last real grift. It just is, because he has nothing really that he can offer to the marketplace that really has value. So what he can offer his dents is his time, with the illusion of at some point we can be friends, but Phil will maintain and keep them at arm's distance. It's a very dangerous game that he's playing. He really is, because once again, he likes to try to paint the detractors as if we are bugged out and we're crazy. But I'm telling you, Phil, and I've said this before, and I'm not wishing this on you, but if something happens, man, I'm telling you, it's not going to be one of us, bruh. It's going to be one of them. And I would not be surprised at all if you found out that somebody was going ham on Phil screaming, I thought you loved me.
And then I was like, all right, so now would be the time to rally. We got no support for the rest of the night. I think there was 1 super chat. That was it. So basically, I ended the night around like 560. Now, Mega Man 8, I like better than 7 for sure. This is the one that was on PlayStation 1. It has hilarious anime cutscenes that are very weirdly voice acted. You got Dr. Light saying, Dr. Wily, we have to catch up to Wily. What?
You don't understand charm. You don't understand why people are drawn to certain things. Everything is not for everybody, Phil, and that's okay. But you show how much of a hater you are by just not letting things be sometimes. It's okay if you don't fully understand it, but if you don't understand it, you shouldn't really have an opinion on it either way. But you always choose to have a negative opinion about something, even when you don't understand it.
What did he say? It's pretty funny. So in that regard, the game is pretty good. The graphics are good. Gameplay elements are good. You got some 3D in there now for the first time. I did enjoy it. Okay. We beat all the robot masters. The thing is, I was getting tired, after doing this all day, and I never had my cup of coffee because I was expecting that we were going to be drinking. And when I'm drinking, I don't want to have coffee with liquor. So basically, I was like, I'll hold off. I won't have, this coffee. Instead, I'll just wait and I'll have the shots. They never came. So basically, I was insanely exhausted.
You hear his latest grift. This man will say anything. And when you watch the parts of the marathon, all throughout it, he was talking about, well, I guess I'm gonna go have to get some coffee now because I'm not taking the shots. Anything that he can do to try to create fake pressure. Phil, you're a con man, bro. And that's why nobody will ever respect you. Because real men can sniff men like you out from a mile away. Bro, you a damn worm.
Exhausted by the end of the stream because I was, my body's used to having a coffee after dinner. I never had one. But I got through it. I beat all 8 Robot Masters in Mega Man 8, and that's where we ran out of time. So essentially, it's like just how we ended the last marathon at the beginning of the month, where I got through all the Robot Masters of 6, and then I ran out of time. That's where we ended. So there's 2 critical factors here. Okay, factor number 1, it just looks like Kick support isn't very forthcoming anymore. There's a few people on Kick who are regulars now who are supporting me, but not many. And it looks like a lot of the people who used to come by and support my stuff aren't anymore for whatever reason. And I don't understand why, because nothing's changed. We had.
Well, that's part of the problem, Phil. And that's, in fact, that's always been the problem. That nothing has changed, or when it did change, you were 5 to 7 years too late for the change to actually matter. And you talking about Kick support drying up and it being slow. This has been a common theme on your streams for some months now. Don't you get it? The only support that you're actually getting on Kick is one of your YouTube dents makes a Kick sock account to make you feel good, dude, because they're trying to cultivate this parasocial relationship with you. And they know part of that is trying to tiptoe around your explosive and corrosive personality, Phil. They know that at any point you can implode. So there are certain times where they have to appease daddy with the hopes that they'll get what they want.
2 big supporters come in, talk in the chat for 5 seconds, leave, and never come back.
Now, wait, are you stalking people now, Phil? Look at his face. He said 2 big supporters came in and they was only here for 5 minutes. You see how he had it down to the science, man? He couldn't believe, I bet you when they left and they stopped chatting, he was thinking to himself, they got a lot of damn nerve watching my content for free. They knew I was going to be doing this marathon today. And you got their nerve to show up and not pay your tithes? You going to hell.
So I don't know what to say about that. They were there, they didn't support, so I don't know what had changed. Okay. As for the YouTube side, there was a lot of super chats and a lot of tips, so I'm pleased with that. The other factor here is that I just did a Mega Man Marathon not even a month ago. It was early August, right? So it's like I tell you guys, these things seem to work better when I do variety, meaning I don't keep doing the same thing over and over, but instead I change it up, I alternate, I swap games, I swap events, so it's not always the same event, right? In this case, this is a rare case where I needed to have these marathons readjusted to have them at the end of the month, because coming up, we're going to have Halloween and Christmas where I'm going to need to have these marathons at the end of a month. So I needed to have an extra marathon to get us in line.
So you're saying that you need to have these marathons at the end of the month because you need to have these marathons at the end of the month because they line up with other holidays. That doesn't make any sense, Phil. It doesn't make any sense at all. And you can keep crying about and preaching about how things are not working because you're a variety streamer. No, Phil. The reason why you have to be a variety streamer is because you're not really passionate about anything, right? And so when things start drying up, and they usually dry up very quickly because you're not entertaining, you start making excuses. And whatever fun was left in what you were doing is quickly sucked out of it because you become a miserable lump. completely insufferable, right? And you start becoming annoying and entitled, even far more than you usually are. So stop with this nonsense, man. It's you.
That's why I did the Mega Man Marathon again today. Okay, usually I wouldn't do 2 marathons in 1 month. So I do think what happened is there's some burnout there. There's some stagnation. People are like, well, you just played Mega Man at the beginning of August. Don't really care about another Mega Man Marathon. I do feel like this one was different because the last one I'd already played those games. This one I had never played 7 or 8. So it was me a first time experience with these games, and going through them.
Nobody cares about you doing things for the first time, Phil, because we know what the outcome is going to be. You're going to cry and whine about mechanics that you don't understand, and you usually don't understand them because you never fully engage with them. And you never fully engage with them because you don't care about the audience experience. You're just trying to get through this game as quickly as possible, or try to hold on to it as long as possible, because a lot of times he will slow down a playthrough, especially if he's making money on it. That's something that I've noticed that he's been doing.
So I think that it was good, but you can't make people watch too much of the same thing. So I understand. I think it was lower attendance this time, lower support, almost no kick support. What can you do? Now, here's the other thing. I want you to understand. Even though I didn't make insane amounts of money this marathon, I still had a great time. It was still great, and this is still better than a normal day. Like, making over $500 in one day is amazing. I want you guys to understand that. Typically on my streams, I try to aim for $150 a stream. This is like an extra 2 streams on top of that, So thank you so much to anyone who showed up, engaged, and supported. I really appreciate you. Also, keep in mind, the Metal Gear stream was heavily supported, and the other night I had an amazing night stream. So this is not me complaining at all. It was a great end to the month.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what this is. But once again, you think if you call it something else, then that's what it is. You do this with DSP Tries It. You do it with a lot of other things in your quote unquote programming. You are crying about support, Phil. This is what this last 5 to 6 minutes was about. You laid down some preliminary things about stuff that people don't care about. So when people look at this, you can frame it as if you were just summarizing the day. But we know what these daily raps are really about, man. These are business meetings, right? You're going to do some underwriting on a few people to figure out what's been going on. And the crazy thing about these marathons to me, and the crazy thing that'll always be to me, is nothing is ever on the house. Nothing. Even when you get to what you paid for, you still have to pay for what you, I guess, allegedly already earned. Why is nothing complimentary? Why don't anybody get anything from you just on the strength, bro? Just on the love. You talk about, oh, I appreciate you guys so much, but that's just lip service, because you have opportunities daily to show them how much you appreciate what they do for you, and you never do it. When's the last time you gifted some memberships to your community? When the last time you did a giveaway, a real giveaway that's worth talking about? When you did your closet clean out, that was an opportunity for you, but what did you do? You squandered it. You just moved your junk from one spot to another, knowing that you got diehard fans out there that would love to have some of that stuff, but you rather let it sit there and collect dust because you in love with your damn toys, because you a little ass kid. That's all I got for y'all, man. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.